Fans, welcome to another edition of Xtreme Memories. We are rolling along right here on the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. Want to remind everybody to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All of your support has been great. Your comments, keep them coming. Again, like, share this video, comment, and subscribe. We're going to get that threshold right here on the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. We want to welcome back a guest that we had not only on Xtreme Memories back in the day, when we started this thing back in 2020 with an interview, but we had him here for a reaction. Response has been so great, and we had so much fun the last time. We want to bring him back, but we're going to fast forward in time. Last time we had this guest here, it was about his debut back in the early days of XPW. We're going to fast forward all the way to August the 24th, 2002. This is right before XPW's exodus from the temporary exodus from the West Coast to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was the Pico Rivera Sports Arena. It was the scaffold match, but it was XPW TV 106. An exciting episode, an exciting time in the company. Let's welcome back to Xtreme Memories, Angel. There he is.
Chris, how you doing, Chris?
Good to see you once again, my friend. Had a lot of fun the last time you were on Xtreme Memories, and we are ready to do it again. So fun watching these along, reacting to them. And again, shout out to whoever is putting these up on YouTube. It's not only great for the fans, but it's great for all of us that we're a part of it. And hey, most of us don't have a DVD or a VHS player to go to, so this is our outlet. Angel, welcome back to Xtreme Memories, man.
Thank you, Chris. It was fun first time. I want to see this match. Like I said, it's been a while since I've actually seen any of these shows, so this is gonna be a great one.
Absolutely. Like we were talking before, most of us, we haven't seen this stuff in years, you know.
Yeah.
So, but again, now that someone's been posting these, we are able to. So thank you again. So fans, what we're going to do is we're going to watch XPW TV episode number 106. We were the machine was rolling for quite some time now. Again, we started in July of 1999. The preparations of XPW were underway even a year before that. Angel, you came into the company the last episode we saw, which aired November 25th, 2000. So you are 2 years in now. So man, your gears are running as well here. You're a seasoned performer now at this point in time, to the point where you're in these high profile matches, a scaffold match. Anything you want to say about this match before we watch it?
This is actually the debut of the Hardcore Homo. This show, maybe not this TV episode, but that show at Pico Rivera Sports Arena is when I debuted the Hardcore Homo gimmick.
Okay. I didn't know it was that. I don't remember it being that late into the game.
Well, yeah, I was just called Angel, and because I was doing all the hardcore stuff. I think this would be my third crazy bump. So it was becoming more hardcore stream, and so me and Veronica were back working back at the Xtreme Associates office, and we started coming up with the names. I think she came up with it. Was like, why don't you call yourself the Hardcore Homo? So we brought up Rob, and that's how I debuted. It debuted at this show.
Okay, I don't think I knew that. Well, without any further ado, we're also going to see the debut of the Hardcore Homo. Of course, Angel himself debuted 2 years before this. But here we go, folks. XPW TV episode number 106. There were roughly 140 total episodes of XPW TV. Can't believe there were that many, but there were. And so we're coming up, not right at the end, but we're coming up kind of to the end of XPW here. This aired once again, August the 24th, 2002. And most of the footage here is going to be from the Pico Rivera Sports Arena. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was the show Liberty or Death, Night of Champions?
Yeah, I think it was, but it's because the deathmatch tournament, the video cassettes and the Blu-rays got the Baptized in Blood 3, I think.
Right. Okay, folks, so you know the drill. If you're watching us on audio only, go to YouTube, type in XPW TV episode number 106, and hit play right when I count down. But before that, if you have any YouTube commercials, initial YouTube commercials, you have to get out of the way, get those out of the way. And then right when it hits 0, I'm going to count down for you to start as well. By the way, check us out at TW Chatter on Instagram and X. So thank you, folks, once again for joining us. We hope you enjoy this as much as we do presenting it to you. XPW TV, episode number 106. My name is Kris Kloss. This is Angel. We're going to go on this ride with you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Oh, genocide. I remember that one.
Yeah, there's the Patriot Hall. There's the Grand Olympic. There's Patriot Hall. Look at that, man. We were starting to get a little more hardcore, too, even from in the beginning days. And we started to get a lot of good wrestling here, too. So, yeah, you started to have some matches with guys like, Juventud Guerrera, you name it.
There's the original scaffold match right there.
Yeah, people still talk about that. There's Patriot Hall. There's the Olympic. There's your web.
Fantastico.
Yeah, and streets. Hey, there you go, man. You doing your aerobics, staying in shape. Preston Ascot. Evan Courageous, I believe that was right there. Oh, one of the great spots right there, where his head came down on the concrete. Here's an unsung hero, Chris Hamrick. He was a great talent, man. So now you're starting to see all the stars come in. We got the Sandman. There's an exploding match right there. Saito Suplex from Rigatoni, yeah, Spaghetti Joe. And there's Veronica, the one who came up. That was Vinny Massaro, by the way. But that was the one who came up with the name, the Hardcore Homo. Never knew that.
Yeah. We were going with a couple names, and I think she came up with that one.
Okay. Street Styles. Oh, it was great, man. Yeah, we had a lot of crazy shows. There it is. That's probably when you guys came up with the name, huh?
No, I don't remember. It was somewhere in the office. We used to work together. She was also part of Xtreme. So,
hey, man, Fantastico, look at that.
One of my former classmates at Slammers.
That's right. You guys go way back. There's Damien 666 Halloween. Damien 666 recently got honored at the Cauliflower Alley Club, along with CM Punk.
Great.
Yeah, he was one of the honorees last year with CM Punk and all them. It's a class with CM Punk. Damien. Oh, getting very excited for Evan Courageous' debut.
We had to do that twice because the first time we did it, I made Evan Courageous pop. He started laughing. He wasn't expecting me to do that. We had to do it again. He's like, let's do this again because he broke character.
That's funny, dude. Yeah, good stuff here, man. Of course, Metallica is playing over this. Major Gun, she came in. Whoa. Yep. She came in. So yeah, we were a lot of people came in.
Yeah.
There's the Enterprise right there. Lizzie Borden. Scott Stein. There's the Juice.
God, Rob's office is always messy. I've never saw it clean.
No, even Kevin's office was messy, man. Kevin's office was messy at the Big Vision days, but he knew how to find stuff, and it was like an organized mess, he would call it. I was like, how do you find stuff in here? He's like, no, don't worry, I know where stuff's at. Don't worry.
GQ.
GQ, your arch nemesis, your Magic Johnson to your Larry Bird, if you will, of XPW. Oh, the big press conference right there. Oh, that was the
match.
buck.
I think this is the buck naked match.
Yes,
he turned the light
buck naked. Oh, Dave, right
yes.
there when they were throwing chairs. Oh my gosh, we were right there. That was one of the few shows we did live. We were ringside, and man, we got under the table. It was bad. Yeah, so I'm flying solo at this point in time. After Rivera, Fantastico was gone, and
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Fantastico's here because this. Yeah, no, Fantastico was here because he was doing the matches with Pogo, the tag team matches.
That's right. So the story was he was out but then he never came back on announcing. That I would have had to ask him. I can't remember what the situation was there. But yeah, my hair was cut. It was no more ponytail. And but so yeah, we are at this time. Let's get a little audio just so I know what's happening here.
From Night of Champions that determined the match that's set for the XPW King of the Deathmatch title at Hostile Takeover between Angel the Hardcore Homo and the King of the Deathmatch himself, the human horror film Supreme. Fans, we'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, so we are setting up for so now we are airing one of the markets that we weren't originally in when we were syndicated. Like we talked about this before. When we were on America One, we were coast to coast, but some cities we were in, some we weren't. Philadelphia was one of the cities we weren't in, so we put our show on in Philly. We were on in New York, we're on in, I don't know, Charleston, but we weren't in on Cincinnati, So now these are the shows that are broadcasting in Philly. And it went under the banner Monday Nightmare. So it came on Monday nights.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Right. It was XPW Monday Nightmare, but by and large, it was the same show, XPW TV. And I don't say by and large.
That's when we started doing the Philadelphia area. We kind of left LA for a while.
Right. So we're going into Philadelphia here, which means we are all the wrestling you're seeing on this episode was from our last show, which was at the time the final show in Los Angeles, Southern California, which was at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena. I know people like that venue. I just prefer the indoor, the Olympic. I prefer the sports arena, of course. But there was a charm to Pico Rivera. It was gritty. It was dirty. And in some ways it fit the product. But personally, I like the other venues better. But no, so the matches we're going to see leading up to the next event in Philly are from this show where you, my friend, were involved in a scaffold match.
Well, this was a tournament, but yeah, the scaffold was the last match on that tournament. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I wrestled the first time, and then I wrestled Pogo the second, and the third was the scaffold was Supreme.
Okay. All right. Just so we know, a little audio, just so I kind of know what's going on.
Defeated GQ Money and Pogo the Clown. Defeated both Steve Rosano and Crimson. Well, the two then met in a semifinals match. It would be the Killer Clown taking on the Hardcore Homo.
Okay, so you had advanced then. You're right. Thank you for bringing that up so I could hear that and remember this was the tournament. You got past Pogo.
This one I do, yeah. The first one was GQ. That's why I look all beat up.
Okay. Tell the fans right now a little bit what it was like working with Pogo.
I love working with Pogo. I loved when I came along in Slammers. They were very stiff, so working with Pogo was just like working at Slammers. It was great. He didn't hold back, and I would ask him, Pogo, go ahead and hit me. And I think he liked that about me. This is the few times actually anybody ever got over clean on Pogo.
Wow.
Yeah, because Pogo rarely ever lost. I can't remember that many times. Maybe on one hand that you could think of that ever lost, and I was one of the few guys that actually got to beat him.
You are 100% right about that.
Yeah, I mean he's a monster. Yeah.
I mean, a little intimidating, right? Being in there. Did he take good care of you?
Yeah, he did, and you can see I'm really selling the gimmick that I'm afraid to get in there with him because this is Pogo. I mean,
right.
And I knew he was going to compare me. He was great.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we went over anything. I think just the finish and that's it. Everything else we're just gonna go out there and ad-lib it. So there's nothing really to say because it was just a deathmatch tournament, and we'd figure out we'll make it work. You know,
Sure.
But yeah, like I'm trying to show that I'm scared of Pogo. You know, I don't even want to get in there with him.
And you can't be his opponent really
No.
without doing that. I mean, you gotta, and that's the respect everyone had for each other. You know, we are. So that's one way to defeat him. Or
I think that's the only thing we also discussed was we'll start with the kiss, and that's
okay.
it. And everything else, he's gonna kick my
really?
ass.
Okay, so you just kind of called it.
Yeah, everything else he's gonna kick my ass.
Okay, so you're not doing the Macho Man Ricky Steamboat thing. You guys are calling it on the spot here.
Pretty much, yeah. Whatever he did, because I believe it pretty much is a squash match most of the time, and I just happen to get lucky.
Right.
I don't know how I beat him, but I do beat him.
Well, let's in a little bit here. Maybe we'll get some audio. Do you remember about how long this match was?
Not that long. Yeah. I mean, this is on 2 episodes. So I think right after this is the scaffold match, and these episodes are an hour. So, you know, between all the other stuff. So,
see, the thing about some of the stuff, we didn't have the luxury WWE did about like putting on a super show and then not putting the matches on TV. We kind of had to fill TV, but there were because I remember there were a couple matches. I can't remember if it was the Vic Grime New Jack match where some matches didn't air till way later because we let the home video. We would let the home video sell first, and then we would put them on TV later on. But we didn't have the luxury to do that all the time. So yeah, this was a great episode because you're getting those matches. You're getting this. You're getting the scaffold match. You know, we kind of had. I mean, if it was up to us, if we had the luxury to do it, we'd save this for home video or what was going to be.
Now people do like the internet pay-per-view stuff. If we had,
well, yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. When we came back to LA, we finally signed the contract to do those monthly pay-per-views, and we got that one out, which ended up being a best of XPW. But that was the plan at that point, as we were going to move forward into like 2003, 2004, and all that. But we the league folded just before we got that. Or excuse me, the league folded just after we got that one pay-per-view out. And it was kind of a test run.
I don't even know if we're calling it. He's just picking me up, and I knew it was going to come. I didn't know how he was going to slam me, but I knew it was going to get slammed somehow on that barbed wire. So you kind of see me look around. Okay, like what's next? But you know, when you do a tournament like that, you can't always call everything. You know, it's just too much. You
guys were great. I see a lot of guys today like so obviously calling their spots, and you guys, it never came off to me, even somebody that's working with you guys, that would catch it before the fans would. But you guys were great about covering all that back then. Okay, let's get some audio here because it looks like you might be getting your comeback.
Now, an Angel, that's a kendo stick with bits of glass, sharp glass.
Oh! Look at that glass.
That glass is crazy glued to that kendo stick. Roll the
package. 1, 2. Oh no!
And upset. Kris Kloss.
That's how I beat him.
Be the biggest upset of the year here at XPW.
Even I'm flipping shocked. I'm telling you, Pogo. How did I beat Pogo?
Right.
I'm running the back. Normally people would be like, yeah, celebrating. No, I don't, you know.
Yeah, you got it. You're in the tournament. You have time to celebrate. You got another match.
Yeah, no, but I'm showing that I'm afraid. The Pogo, how did I beat Pogo? Like, this is going to kill me when he finds out I beat him.
Yes. Here, let's see if we talk about this. If we talk how Pogo lost.
Now, the only question was who would he be facing? Would it be this newcomer with an unbelievable win streak, Ultra Boy Luke, or would it be the man that won the first ever king of the deathmatch tournament? Would it be Supreme?
Okay, we're good. That was talking about Luke and Supreme.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I said something right when the match ended, but we didn't have audio. It's okay. But boy, talk about a transformation. Look
Oh
at
yeah.
little Luke here. Luke, shout out to Luke. He's one of the best, man. We still talk to this day, and anytime I'm out in New Orleans, I'd love to see this guy if our schedules permit. But yeah, we still talk. Would love to have him on for a reaction. And by the way, speaking of that, fans, we want to get your thoughts. Who do you want to see on Xtreme Memories? Drop that in the comment section. And also, too, if you were there back in the day, if you were one of the hardcore fans, we don't want to just get the wrestlers on, announcers, referees, all of us talent, and guys behind the camera. We want to get some of the fans that were there, man, that were there, that experienced this, that lived this along with us, because again, if it wasn't for you, none of this
Yeah.
would have been a thing at all. There's that red X right there, and there he is, the late great Supreme. So
Yeah.
these guys would end up having a rematch at, was it XPW Fallout in Philly? I think the second show.
Luke
That's where,
won the deathmatch title.
right, because
Didn't he?
you fought Supreme, and Supreme went over, which really that had to be done. Like for the first show in Philly, Supreme couldn't defend the title and lose it. He had to win. Right. He had to win. Too bad Luke wasn't in that match and you weren't in the second, but that's the way the
And
cards
then we
were.
would
But
never see the power bomb off the
I
off,
know
off
that.
the
Well, there you
balcony.
okay.
Yeah.
See, that's why this puzzle is fitting the way it is. So
Yeah.
there's a reason, right? And shout out to Kevin and Rob for making all that happen in the boardroom. But yeah, these two would have a rematch. Obviously here people are saying, okay, this kid's got no chance, da 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 da. And it was billed that way. Luke is just coming into XPW. He's about 3 times smaller than Supreme. And he was just pitted in the tournament. Look at all the people. That was a big venue. Look at the crowd right there. I mean, those bleachers are full. This
And
this crowd on this place was huge, right?
yeah,
So
yes,
on
it
some
was.
camera angles, you would think it's empty, but all the people were on one side, and it was a lot of people. Like that one bleacher, there's a lot of people here, man. And the floor is kind of deceiving. There's so many people on the floor on the dirt there that it anyway. I'm just remembering what this place looked
You'll
like.
probably remember also XPW never started on time, so this is probably maybe midnight. This match is going on.
Well, I remember on one commentary, I said that. I said, folks, we are literally tomorrow now. Like I remember saying that because we were calling it live, and it was it was the next day. It's like not too many shows can say that. But yeah, and it was cold. It was cold here on some of those nights.
Yeah, in fact, that it was breezy because in the match you'll see the scaffold moving. That's when it's Supreme. I think I mentioned in the last time. Scaffold moves back and forth. Supreme's kind of scared of heights. They didn't want to get up because we were supposed to actually have some spots planned for that scaffold up there, but he didn't want to stand up because that scaffold.
The one thing he's afraid of.
Yeah, mind you, he knew I was going to go off, but it's just being up there. It's legit 40 feet. They're not lying about it.
Right.
And you get up and you feel the breeze, and that scaffold's just moving on you. I think I had Devin was up there. Devin was one of the fans.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, he was just sitting there. You can see on his face he's scared because that scaffold's moving.
Yeah, I talked to Devin Lefebvre. He and I were associate producers on Wrestling Society X, and he was a lot of the footage. What you see is him, and he was telling me a few months ago. Him and I ended up going to a Dodger game together. Shout out to Devin, and he was saying, I have the footage, behind the scenes footage of the scaffold. I'm like, Vic Grimes. He goes, no. Angel Supreme. I was like, really? So so he has a bunch of footage that we may release here of like behind the scenes and all this stuff. Who would have thought, Angel, back in the day we'd be doing stuff like this, talking about it? We kept kayfabe.
I know, right?
Like it's
Yeah,
wild.
we
Like,
wouldn't.
no, it was just so different. Like we would just, everybody would treat wrestling differently because of that. Like the fans were really in the dark with so much of this stuff, with everything. Like it was kayfabe, and like it's even to me who's doing this now, talking about it, which is fun. I never thought I would be doing this, like, because when you take a vow, you protect the business. Never thought.
Yeah.
I thought I would take all this to my grave at this time. I really thought that.
Yeah, this show is crazy. And this is the show that somebody attacked Rob, and he was pissed at the back. And I
Oh
don't
yeah,
remember.
yeah. Well, no, that was the show where somebody jumped the railing.
Yeah, and this is right. And then Supreme gets upset. I think I mentioned
Oh,
this I mentioned we talked. But yeah, like this right before we're about to go out, Supreme's pissed for some reason because either security was not doing something right, and there's a big melee in the back. That guy, the fan got kicked in the face by one of our.
Yeah, just to let you
if you go back, I think I do talk about it on the last time we talked.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay. So fans, if you want to hear that story, go back to the archived episode of Xtreme Memories where I interview Angel, and we'll talk about the fan jumped the railing. They cuffed him, put him in the back, and all the boys went at him. This was an old school moment where the guy fucked with wrestling, and the wrestlers showed him what was up, and it was to the point where we were getting scared for this guy. But so yeah, check that interview out with Angel. Archive it back on it, and again, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, folks. Thank you for your support. Here comes Luke. Wow, look at this. This was a great match. Wow, look at this. Let's get some audio here, George.
What an incredible matchup here. What a showing we're seeing, not only by Supreme, but a surprise showing by the Alpha Boy Luke.
XPW, the best damn wrestling entertainment there is worldwide. And look at this huge splash. 1, 2, it's over. It's over.
Nothing to be ashamed of. Altar Boy Luke did not do it, but this man has made a name for himself. Here is your winner and advancing in the XPW King of the Deathmatch Tournament, Supreme.
That's right, Supreme advances. And this match could have gone either way. But you're right. Luke has nothing to be ashamed of. And these Altar Boys are going to go far in XPW. Supreme advances in the 3rd annual XPW King of the Deathmatch Tournament.
Rest in peace, big guy.
Yeah.
Boy, he was something else, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. I mean, there wouldn't be the Hardcore Homo without Supreme. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And you did a lot for him too, my friend. But yeah, Luke, a great first outing right there, because that was not his debut, because he did the Altar Boys.
He competed the,
right.
The Altar Boys. There was 2 of them.
Yeah, but that was the first match he had where it's like, whoa, look at this guy, you know.
He showed he can get extreme, because I think he didn't really do extreme stuff before then. So
right. I felt at this time myself, just watching me here versus the early days, I was doing this every week, so I was really getting polished and experienced doing. I just cringed at some of the early stuff I did. You know what I mean? And I could tell I'm flowing a lot better here. So that's the Capitol Records building in LA right there. Let's get some audio here. Let's see the franchise. Oh wait, is this music?
the XPW offices. However, the smiles on camera would soon fade.
Yeah, get physical with each other.
Oh,
Keep it tight. Love this woman. Oh, yeah.
Isn't she beautiful?
Don't you want to reach back and grab him?
Hey, excuse me for 1 second, sir. Can't you see we're busy here? Back off.
I've been instructed I have to give it to you right now.
You gotta come in here and interrupt. You see this beautiful piece of woman standing in front? Do you see this incredible masculinity? This God called a franchise standing in front of you, and she's gotta come in here and
Sir, I'm sorry, I've been
our
instructed
fun.
I have to.
Okay. Okay, well now, let me see here. That's to sign a new contract until September 1st. He has the authority to do this. It's a doom hammer.
I don't know.
It's about staying in Los Angeles. What you have got black until September 1st can be signing contracts like this. And are you kidding me? I have no part of this. Rod Black, you told me was done. And you said we had control of this company. Now have no damn part. Dude, hammer.
Franchise, we could take care of this.
Okay. Yeah, so Doom Hammer was one of the he was that was going to be kind of like we were pushing this, like WCW was pushing Glacier. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right. So Doomhammer was, if you saw the ring crew out there on some of the sporadic shows, he was the tall, bald, white dude, tall guy, and he was one of the Asylum students. So this was like at a time where the guys that were training in the Asylum were going to be wrestlers. He was kind of the first one that was going to break out of that, but never happened. And then XPW folded. So that was it. But
Leroy was the first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Leroy was the first that kind of organically became what it was, because I'm talking about like, okay, we're gonna get you over. Yeah, Leroy was the first, I guess, officially, but what I mean is, it was set on paper for Doomhammer. Leroy was just like, hey, he's over, let's put him out there. You want to get some audio here? See Angel and Rob and the
Angel. Now, if you want to come for Extreme Associates and do some man smokers, back together. But I don't know, man. It's like I'm gonna miss everybody. I'm gonna. Well, listen. We're gonna do something for old time's sake. Okay? You can get some balls. All right?
Ooh. Oh my God, I've been waiting for these.
What are you doing?
I've been waiting.
Get on it, not my balls. Again, not my balls. I'm saying you gotta get balls. Balls. Listen to me. This is what you're gonna do. All right? Supreme?
Yeah.
All right. I know you got that death match coming up. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go find that fat bastard. Give him a beating. All right? Old time's sake. Remember we used to go attack people and Black Army? Hey, this is going to be the last time we're together ever, man. You go give him a beating. What do you think?
I'll do it. I'll go right now. But about the ball thing, you sure?
No balls.
Just
no.
This is the last time together. No, we got to know.
Nope.
Come on. Now that you're not. Now that you're not with
A
me.
shake in the hand. That's it. I ain't gay.
I'm gonna try it.
No.
Try it.
Oh, listen. Old time's sake, give him a beating. Okay. Here's one last contract. Realization. Oh, this is gonna piss off. What a night it was, brother. You.
All right. Yeah. So how was it? Like, how? I mean, I know how it was there, but can you talk a little bit about like your involvement with Extreme Associates, the fact that you were always there, that led you into being a part of those vignettes?
Yeah.
And working with Rob extensively, like you were.
And a lot of the vignettes, it was never scripted. They kind of just gave us an idea. We ran with it. And it was great working with Rob, Kevin, everybody else. You just kind of learned what people want. You kind of knew how to work with somebody on a vignette or talking. You knew how to work around the character. And you would give something and they would take it, and they give something back and you take it. So it'd be entertaining.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and again, your character back then, it's just so different now. Like playing on the gay humor and all this stuff. I mean, just
at least I'm not wearing the maid outfit anymore.
yeah, you're wearing. Yeah, you were the housekeeper of Xtreme.
I think Rob would always want me to wear it, and one day I slowly stopped wearing it, and he completely forgot it was even in there. Yeah. Because that thing would stink. I couldn't wash it. It was some costume they found for one of their porn sets, and
oh my god!
If you washed it, probably would have disintegrated. So that thing stunk. But yeah.
Wow, that was the last thing I thought the complaint about that thing would have been. It was
no, I got used to wearing it. At first, it was a little weird, but yeah, I got used to wearing it. It just slowly but surely, maybe I wore something with it. I can't remember how I slowly got rid of that stupid maid costume. I wore something with it, and I gradually got to wear some other stuff. And
right.
Eventually, I just gave up, and I forgot that I was in a maid costume.
Yeah. So what we saw leading up to this was we were talking about.
What a great gimmick! You never see this anymore. As a guy wearing the championship belt every single time.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Right. That was Chaos's deal, and not only that, but he would wear it. Was he the first ever to really do that?
Yes, I know, and it's strange because it's not strange. Joey would do this in real life too. When he had that belt, he wore the thing everywhere. There was there used to be a place we used to go. I can't remember where it was. In real life, we would hang out after practices, and because of that belt, I don't know if because of that belt he's wearing it pissed somebody off because he thought Joey was being, egotistical. Right. And we actually got into a legit fight in a bar. Yes, because I remember the guy was on the phone and he was talking and Joey's wearing the belt and I think it was me, Wantastico. I don't remember who else was there. And the guy's on the phone. He's like, "Oh, look at this idiot wearing his stupid wrestling belt or whatever." And I don't know what happened. We said something and it ended up getting heated and the guy started attacking us. And Wantastico got the guy in a chokehold, brought him down. And
Wantastico?
Yes. I don't know how it just de-escalated it, but we were pissed because, I mean, it was because Joey was living the gimmick, and we were like, why are you doing this? Yes.
I don't think I ever heard the story.
Yeah. And I can't remember who was there, but it was a big thing. And it was, but you never see that anymore,
Yeah. Well, and again, I think Joey Chaos, the television champion here. All right, we're going to get some audio in a sec here, but we're getting into the main event, the scaffold match here. And as you peer up to the 40-foot, as you said, legitimately 40 feet. Joey, drop a comment, fans. Is he the first wrestler in wrestling history that when you become champion, you wear the belt in your match and everywhere else? Because that was a great idea, and it stood out. And yeah, he wore the belt. His security, his egotistical security blanket, we called it. But yeah, let us know, because I think he might be the first ever to have done that. And you haven't seen it really since, not that I can recall off the top of my head. But yeah, you got to this match kind of an upset, if you will, the Cinderella story. No pun intended, Cinderella. But but you were here, and this was it was highly anticipated. We didn't know, like we did Vic Grimes and New Jack, who the competitors were going to be, but we knew that there was going to be a 40-foot scaffold match once again. And this is coming off the heels of all the heat we had and all the buzz that was going on of not too far removed from the infamous free fall event with Vic Grimes and New Jack, the 40-foot scaffold match. So this was a highly anticipated event. And again, and I'm sorry, one more thing is we were really trying to make an impact before heading out to Philly for our first show. We wanted to do a bunch of big things, and this was part of it.
And I mentioned it in the last time we interviewed me, when we went in details about different stuff. I didn't want to do the scaffold match, and it wasn't because I was afraid. I just felt it was not too long after Vic did his, and it was going to take away from it. And
I'm sorry, it was not too far removed from what?
Yeah, from when Vic did his, I felt that needed some time to, like, we should have waited a couple of years because we didn't know we were going to end. So we should have waited a couple of years before doing another scaffold match. And, you know, I was more than like, you know, it was more, I was kind of not forced into it because I wasn't afraid to do it. I just was like, this is the guy, because I was taking all the crazy bumps, that is going to do it next. So, you know, I was like, okay, and then let's just do it. So, but yeah, I really didn't originally wanted to do this scaffold match, but yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like I guess you could look at it one of two ways. You wait a year. Yeah, I would say
Longer than a year. You know,
yeah.
That you cannot take away from what happened to Vic. I mean, give it some time, you know?
Yeah, because what was this, only like a couple months after?
Yeah.
Right.
It was. So
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you don't have WrestleMania 1 and then a week later you have WrestleMania 2, right?
Yeah.
Right. But boy, talk to us right now. The match is starting. You know what's going to happen. You know what's supposed to happen. What is going through your guys' minds? And how is the conversation in the back before you guys both came out here?
Well, this is right after that incident with that fan. So when my music's hitting, they are just breaking up that fight. So Supreme's still pissed. And I wasn't sure how it was going to be. So we really didn't get a chance to talk because they were trying to break Supreme up from killing this guy or whoever.
Right.
I forgot who we were going after. So they said, we got to go. They hit my music, and I come out, and then Supreme comes out after. So we kind of had an idea what we're going to do. Yes, those Supreme has some stiff punches, but I love them. Oh, that hurts. I think those are those beds of nails. I think he throws.
I remember going when playing around with them in the office, and it's like those beds of nails were interesting because they were real nails, thick nails, and if you hit them, it hurt. Now, if you laid on them, you're okay, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if you laid on them, you're okay. But yeah, if you go into them, like, dude, it's because they were all the same level, so you can lay on them like an acupuncture or whatever. But yeah, if you hit them, you're still hitting nails.
Yeah.
Look at that, light bulbs already. It's like we might as well get this. Did this match even need the barbed wire, the light bulbs? Because it was a scaffold match. What do you think?
It was a deathmatch tournament, though. So, yes, I think it did, because if the scaffold's the only thing you're going for, why are we going up there? You know, obviously one of us does have to go off to win it. But just, you know, why don't you just start up on the scaffold? Why don't you get up there, you know, like when Mankind and Undertaker, when they first started the Hell in a Cell, they both climbed at the beginning.
That's true.
Just give us that little bit of space, a reason why. Let's beat each other up a little bit and give us some time to the scaffold. So this is late at night.
Yeah. This is, and you know what? Some of these matches at Pico, when it is like after midnight, those let's see. So this would have been one of like in the summer though, because this aired in August. But some of those beautiful. But some of those matches in the winter months, like at the end, you could see guys breathing, and you could see the air is cold when they're breathing. Like you could tell.
This is also not, I mean, people have heard the story, but this is the Messiah was in the crowd. And
Yes,
they had just
right.
him out. Yeah.
Right. So there was so much going
So
on.
much crazy crap going
There's
on.
so
Yeah.
much. Messiah was there. Rob lost his shit. That fan jumped over the railing. Pogo and Supreme almost killed him. And then
Yes.
you got you guys 40 feet above hoping everything goes right. The technicians are there for the explosion equipment. Like, I mean, and then we are getting ready to leave LA, and the fans were pissed about that.
Mm-hmm.
The LA fans, the West Coast fans were pissed.
Well, I don't think the fans yet knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They didn't know yet. If there were some fans pissed that we were going. They didn't get nearly as pissed as when they realized, oh shit, they're going over there consecutively. They're not coming back. Yeah.
We thought we were going to come back we thought we were going to do a show in Philly, then a show back in LA, you know.
And that's absolutely what should have happened.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, those like to, you know, if you look at death matches now, this is a lot tame. This is tame compared to some of the crazy stuff they do now.
Oh, okay. Like, you know, sometimes I feel like it's tame now compared to today, but sometimes I feel like it's not. Sometimes I feel like you guys do a little bit more you did a little bit more stuff here. Like you there's no protecting anything. You guys had to make it look real all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we did. I mean, obviously those light tubes, you know, they hurt.
Right.
I mean, I've got scars right here. I don't know if you can see that, probably from where that light tube just hit me.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Yeah.
That moment.
I remember that hurt me too when he threw that thing. That's why I'm running away. I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to get this thing no more.
Yeah, the realism. And look at this concoction.
Fans made all these weapons mostly. It wasn't.
Right. Yep. Shout out to all the fans, the hardcore XPW fans that would actually spend the time, like the week before, leading up to the show, and bring all these concoctions. You know.
Yeah. We missed that spot.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Something. I mean, we have roaming cameras. It's weird when that would happen. It's so funny how we had these used cars sitting out there.
I just added to the atmosphere.
Yeah, and literally use them as weapons. Probably got them from a who knows, a scrapyard.
In this show, I think somebody got like power bombed on one of them or something like that.
Right.
Broke the windshield or something. So we used them to our advantage, as you can see now.
You can see one of the windows is broken. And look at that. There goes the door.
I just kick to the face. I'm like, boom.
Ooh. You got him, huh?
I got him. I think he's telling Patrick probably like, oh, this kid.
Damn, dude. That was
you know what? We were stiffing each other. That was the great thing. He stiffed me, I stiffed him. We didn't bitch about it. We loved it.
Right. That was a gnarly roundhouse.
And I'm going up.
Okay, George, I guess this is the point in time where we hear, watch, and listen to the sounds of XPW Era 1.0, the sights and sounds of the scaffold match.
Seated. A near-death experience is about to happen. Look at this Angel going up to the top of the scaffold with a steel chair. But it's Supreme pointing up now. And yes, look at this. Supreme following him up. Angel already well over 30 feet high above the ring. Hardcore wrestling is one thing. We are about to witness someone possibly and alive here. I hate to say it. I don't want to see it, but it just might happen.
Supreme going up now. Ron Head, once again, you got to be a very lonely man. And look at this, Supreme. And yes, Angel's on the scaffold. Angel's up on top. And look at this whole thing is teetering. This whole thing is shaking right now. But Supreme,
totally unstable here.
Totally unstable.
We are commentating live.
Now he's up there.
Sorry, I'm just gonna say this is us live commentary. We are there ringside. Ron Head is with me on this telecast. But go ahead, George. Thank you.
Getting ready to put away the human horror film. I hate to say it, Kloss, this might not just be a wrestling match. It just might turn into a snuff video.
Look at this now. Angel, never in the history of professional wrestling.
Wrestling is not even wrestling anymore. A life may end before our eyes here.
And now look at this with a steel chair. Yes, right on the head of Supreme Angel with the upper hand now on the scaffold, on the 40-foot scaffold. And remember now, all the tables below
Now
in the
he's
center of the
mocking
ring.
Supreme.
Wait a minute, franchise! What the hell is Shane Douglas doing out here? And what the hell does he have? What is that? What? Angel? Angel's grabbing his neck. What is that, a tranquilizer?
Tranquilize the gun into the throat of Angel.
What was that?
Clutching at the throat.
What was that, Angel? Angel stumbling. He fired again. Franchise fired again. But it's Angel. Angel's teetering. Oh, no. Holy
Someone gotta get in there. That's enough. You want me to have the damn winner the hell I am?
Well,
I didn't hear the explosion because I'm screaming in pain because I think, as I mentioned when you interviewed me last time, those tables are taped together and they had nowhere to go, so everything was just ripping my back up as I'm falling through them. I felt the heat though, and I saw the light. I just never, I never, yeah.
So you just landed wherever you were going to land, and those tables, we didn't really see it because of the explosion, but there was no mattress. You landed on the tables. Okay,
yeah.
I want to hear this, George, because I think we talk about it right here, and I get on the phone.
now, live on the telephone from Amarillo, Texas at the Double Cross Ranch, the living legend Terry Funk. Terry, are you there, pal?
You're right out of here.
Terry Funk, listen, August the 31st, it's coming up right around the corner now. You're going to be challenging the franchise, Shane Douglas, for the XPW World Heavyweight title. Now, Shane Douglas has claimed that he was the one that made that other company. And he also said that he's going to take XPW to that level and beyond. But, Terry, you have staked that same claim here in XPW. Terry, what's going on? I mean, who made who, and who's going to walk out of August the 31st out of Hostile Takeover in Philadelphia as the XPW World Champion?
Hey, I want to stay on record. Shane Douglas is responsible for ECW. That's right, ECW. He's responsible for the demise of the damn thing. He's responsible for the demise of the NWA and the WCW. Shane has always been in the business for the money, for the glory, not for the wrestling, for the slut, the dogs, the bimbos, the whores that grace him like Francine. And now Lizzie Borden, that's Rob Black, the pervert's old lady who's willing to bend over and show her IQ to the whole world, which is zero, the shape of her ass. There's going to be a major revolt in Philly, and I'm leading the charge by winning the belt from Douglas. Remember, the FNXPW is taking over.
Well, that was kind of cool hearing Terry Funk on the phone there, because talk about a legend.
That guy's a legend. I mean, he was so nice backstage.
Yeah.
When we met.
Yeah. I remember doing this vaguely. There's so many episodes, like I said, but this one, of course, I remember. And yeah, Terry Funk coming back in. Of course, he was there at Go Funk Yourself in 2000 against Sabu. Yeah. So, oh, here we go. Wait. Here's some audio here. This is Angel. Oh!
Like that. You want to take my belt, punk?
It's my dog, you want. No, you. Want my belt? You think you could have my belt? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, so you were pissed that he threw you off the scaffold, and then he's getting you back, and in the truck you go.
The pizza box is his idea. He's like, hit me with the pizza box, and we'll.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So this was at the North Hollywood, in the back there of the office there in North
Yeah.
Hollywood, and so it's also setting up, of course, for, again, like we talked, Philadelphia Hostile Takeover, who we actually watched with Patrick Hernandez, the event archived here. But yeah, that was you guys were, man, you guys, I mean, what was that like? I mean, when you got Supreme in the ring, it's one thing, but when you guys are doing that, no canvas, no springs, so you went into that truck hard. Again, you guys had to make it. You guys were. Yeah,
I love that type of stuff. That when he did it with Messiah, it wasn't as, obviously mine wasn't as long, but I wanted it to be just as hard. The thing with Supreme, he mentioned, and it's true, the times you hit the hardest and when there's no crowd around, because you're going to hear the punches, you're going to hear the kicks,
right.
And those are great because sometimes you can maybe a little bit kayfabe some of those punches and kicks when the crowd's around, because you don't have to go so hard because it muffles the sound. But when it's just you and him in a parking lot, anywhere else going, when he was punching those students and throwing them to the wall, those had to be stiff. Those had to look real because there was no crowd, nothing around. And that's what I loved. Me and him both loved stiffing each other.
Right. Yep. And which made for great wrestling, which made for great entertainment, which made for, again, good matches between you two.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot was going on here. Going back to Shane Douglas, Lizzie Borden. See, they're standing out in front of the Palace in Hollywood, and that's where that famous image of Shane Douglas appearing when the lights came on, and he was supposedly, I think he was on the phone with, was it Eric Bischoff? He was like leaving a message, I guess, for Bischoff, like during the promo, and that was right before television. So it was like, and at that time, to get a guy like Shane Douglas in 99, it was this like, this wasn't another indie league. Like, this is like, what is going on? Like, so it was such a buzz. So he's going back, the story here, he's going back to the Palace where he was beginning to make ECW. But then Terry Funk was at Go Funk Yourself at the Sports Arena. So this was leading up to their match, which we saw in the Hostile Takeover reaction video here on Xtreme Memories. And what we just saw with you, leading up to you versus Supreme, which was the one and only, or the first match on the East Coast where it was two homegrown guys. It was you and Supreme. That was the first match. That was both you guys. The two homegrown guys, I should say.
But yeah, me and Supreme were the.
All right, fans. Well, there you have it. XPW TV. episode number 106 from August the 24th, 2002. We hope you fans enjoyed that as much as we did watching it back. Man, dude, going back down memory lane. Coming up to the end of XPW right there, Angel, for all of us. But we still had some gas left in the tank, and we still did a lot of great stuff.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Philadelphia days. God, we could do another. Do you remember was it the first hotel when we almost got raided and all the paddy wagons were waiting for us outside? Were you there? And we had to go into the expedition.
And
do you remember that?
Yeah. What was that about? What happened?
Well, we got kicked out of multiple hotels in Philadelphia, but that was the first one I remember. But yeah, I had to do something with some idiot attacked one of the front desk staff, and it wasn't a wrestler; it was somebody affiliated though with our wrestling company.
Oh,
and so and then I forgot.
Someone just talked about that on a shoot interview. And they brought my name up, and I can't remember the guy's name, but I remember trying to diffuse everything. And he brought me up saying, "Yeah, it was the announcer, Kris Kloss. You kind of calmed me down, and da 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 da." And I was like, I'm blanking on the guy's name, and I don't even know if I could find that shoot again. It's I just saw it on.
Yeah,
YouTube.
I remember the whole Philadelphia was fun. I mean that was just it was the. What we're about to go through is just crazy there. But yeah, I remember that time there's the hotels kicking us out and they're refusing to leave because our flight was going to be late. Our flight wasn't ready yet, so we're trying to stay as long as we can. And I don't remember if we're in somebody's room. It might have been Joey and GQ, and they're smoking like crazy because we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And the whole hallway smells like weed. And when we're coming out, they don't know we're wrestlers and everything. And all of a sudden, there's about 4 or 5 cops coming toward the door, and we're freaking out. We start pushing the elevator. The elevator opens. We all rush in, and we see them knocking on the door we were just previously in because they don't know who we are, these cops. And we come downstairs. There's probably about another 5 or 6 other police officers out there. There's like 5 or 6, paddy wagons waiting to take us off because they heard the wrestlers. And that was just the first time we got kicked out of a hotel. There's multiple times, but the whole Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, all that was just craziness. And this is how it started.
Yeah.
This past show, that was last time we were in LA. And then we go to Philadelphia, and we unfortunately never came back to LA till the very end.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Patrick Hernandez on the last episode, he was talking how or on a few episodes ago, he was talking about, there's crazy stories people hear, but they really don't know that we were just wanted to entertain the fans. We were all took this very seriously. And you did have crazy moments, like you said, getting kicked out of hotels. Now, usually, in all fairness, it's always one bad apple that can ruin it for the rest of it. But man, we were there in Philadelphia. We were so excited to branch out, to travel, to go to another one of our many television markets, and really, I remember you and I were in the office. Yeah, you and I were in the office one night. I was doing TV, and you were there, and we were kind of waiting around for Rob or whatever, and you and I were just sitting there. Do you remember this? And we were just talking by the ring, like, "Can you believe we're going to Philly?" Yeah, you remember that? Remember that? It was just the two of us.
I just remember there's actually an era. This is called the 2000 Indie Wars. That's what they call this era because of all the crazy stuff between Combat Zone, Ring of Honor, everything else that happened at Jasmine's company. All that happened in Philadelphia, and it was the Indie War. There's not many, there's an era that's named after kind of what we were part of.
Right. Absolutely. No, this was a crazy, exciting time. Again, Terry Funk's in there, Shane Douglas, and then you got you guys representing the West Coast for the first time. So it was just a wild time, and we just came off the heels of that show we just showed you from Pico Rivera that was showcased on this episode of XPW TV, episode 106. So it's the scaffold match. Yeah, it was great, man. And fans, we hope you enjoyed watching that just as much as we did, because we really enjoyed that. Angel, good to have you back on the show, my friend.
Yeah. It was fun. It was great memories.
Yeah, and would love to
I
have
look
you
at my
back.
scars every day when I look.
Can you
at them,
show
like, oh,
that?
yeah,
Show that
like,
close up. Show that close up.
there's, I don't know. That might be one of many, but there's many scars I got on my arms. But I believe that was one of them, because I had there's a big gash right there. What's crazy? I didn't do many death matches. Very few.
Right.
The ones I did was crazy, but I believe that was from the light tubes. That's why I ran away the second time.
That we just saw. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, man, and thanks for sharing all your memories, Angel. Shout out to everybody out there that's still supporting, all the stuff we did, and thank you for supporting this channel, the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. We will see you folks next time, once again, for another edition of Xtreme Memories.